Hello, I'd like to take the opportunity to show you a new tool called AutoDiagrammer. AutoDiagrammer is created to simplify the creation of diagrams and documentation for diagrams by making it as simple as having a conversation and generating your diagram based on the description of what you are trying to put on paper. So this is purely a technical demo right now. This is a product in motion. There is lots of features and UI UX considerations that are being made for this product. But before we go any further, I think it's very important to show the technical demo, show the bare bones functionality that this tool is going to provide, and get some feedback from people interested in this product who want to see certain things and might have things that they would love to see if they really want to use this tool. This is something that my partner and I both feel very strongly about as something that we're going to use for our own projects, regardless of how far this product goes on the market. So we're very excited to show this. And without further ado, let's take a look and just get into something very basic. I'm going to go ahead and just paste in what I was already playing around with. I want to show a flowchart with a chicken and an egg object. Very simple. I'm going to send that to AutoDiagrammer. I'm going to get a response back. And you'll get these types of responses, especially when you send your first question over. It's going to want to have a little bit more information for you to map it out so it can build what it needs to build. For this case, we're going to make it very simple and say the chicken relates to the egg relates to the chicken. By sending that back, we should be able to get a diagram, and sure enough, you'll see the diagram over here on the right with this bare bones UI so far. You'll see that you have the opportunity here to modify the syntax that generates this diagram. And we are using something called Mermaid to generate the diagram. And there's a certain syntax associated with Mermaid that'll be listed below. It's fairly simple to understand the syntax. It gets a little bit more complicated when you get into more complicated diagrams. But for instance, you can go in here and add, like say we want to add omelet, or you can also go in and modify what we have within the conversation and say, also have an omelet. Spelling. Relate to the egg. And by doing that, you're going to see that it added the omelet object to your chart. And if you wanted to get crazy, you could add so much more here. You can either do it here or down here. But in this case, moving along, we also want to show something maybe a little bit more practical for somebody in a space where they want to generate a quick sequence diagram. So in this case, I want to go ahead and maybe document a fictional blogging service. And we're going to go ahead and type something in here and get a response back. Can you provide more details about the specific interactions? Sure. We have a web browser. Our blog service. An account service for login, and a mail service for notifications. Let's go ahead and send that. Now, we may have more that AutoDiagrammer wants to understand, but in this case, you can see here that the sequence diagram was generated based off of our initial information that we supplied. You'll see, obviously this is a little bit more involved than what we started with before, and you'll see all these different sequences within the diagram taking place. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can go and modify the code down here some more to add something. I mean, just to show that this tends to work. We just changed user to be users, so this is real time as you go in and modify your chart. Depending on the complexity, we probably want to, let's take this back out. That added a user object because we had user relationships down here. So that's where it gets a little tricky when you're dealing with the complexity in the actual syntax itself. But in this case, let's just say we want to add one more thing. We want to add a storage system. So also add a storage system that is called from the block service. And we'll see if that updates accordingly. And sure enough, we have a number of inferences made based off of this conversation we've had that added a pretty detailed sequence diagram that we can work with right here. Now you can see that there's a lot of opportunity for you to work with here. And this isn't perfect as is right now, but this really shows you the capabilities that we have here. Now, mind you, we have some scroll work to do here, but in this UI, you also have the opportunity to generate a diagram. And in here, and I meant documentation, of course, but in there, here you're going to have the documentation piece that's generated in Markdown that you can actually save down your machine that allow you to save not only the SVG on the front screen, but also the Markdown itself based on the documentation. Now, mind you, the UI work, and there's going to be a lot of improvements done here. But we wanted to give you an opportunity to see this and try to see what type of interest is out there. We want folks to sign up for the interest list and provide any feedback you can provide to us so that we can continue to build a product that we feel can be very useful for folks in this space. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you.